Всем привет, мы продолжаем проходить Enderal и поехали!
Shira! Walk blessed, madame. What's this? Let me see. Yes! This could be our clue. No, certainly not. But come to think about it, it doesn't really help us either. There are so many dust addicts in Ark, it would take years just to count them. Oh, by the name of the sun, I will inform the Order. No, it's not. Believe me. We will find this son of a whore, and he is going to pay for what he did.
Huh? Can I help you?
Yes? The theme.
Path is going slow.
Oh, you're here? I thought you were in the city. The prodigy.
Ah, if it isn't the prophetess. What's wrong? You look troubled.
I didn't think I would ever say this, but thank you. I don't doubt it.
Yes, I understand that. This Korak is a selfish man, blinded by his own pride. That leaves us with even less time to light the beacon. Thank Malphas we finally have a trace now. At least as far as the sockets go, yes. In the old tablets you found in Old Dothugrat, there's talk of black embers, which are supposed to be some kind of energy supply for the machine. This is what we've been asking ourselves over the past few weeks, and then it fell like pelt from our eyes. The Pyreans were talking about the Black Pearls. Old jewels, sometimes known as Blackstones. They appeared for the first time in the Golden Era, and every self-important noble literally fought to get one in his possession. Apparently they originated from Stormwind, the old city in the heart of Arctwind. They changed owners for decades, sometimes by violence, sometimes by gold. The whole thing only stopped when the owners took note of an undesirable side effect, if you like. Everything has a catch, and sometimes this catch is even upside down. But the stones weren't somehow enchanted, if that's what you're thinking. At least not by any known magical means. Nevertheless, all of their owners eventually shared the same fate. Countess Catua from Nerim, for example, whose castle burnt down to its foundations. According to a survivor of this tragedy, she was to blame for that. He claimed that he saw her the night it happened, laughing hysterically and dancing in the dining room and summoning waves of fire all around her. She was not previously known to have any magical talent in her. Correct. Plus, all of them eventually showed similar symptoms of delusion, like those possessed by the Red Madness do. A peculiar coincidence, if you ask me. Not quite. Those
who owned the pearl tried to get rid of it, or lock it up somewhere safe, and eventually they fell into oblivion. Tell her your theory, Archmagister.
Yes, of course. We believe that the stones carry energy, pure, uncontrolled magic, and that the High Ones use them for their own purposes. Correct. The pearl's magic make their owners powerful, but the High Ones befoul them, so to speak. Like a poisoned potion. I know it sounds odd, but the parallels are too striking to ignore. The red shimmer in the victim's eyes, the slow descent into madness, and ultimately this irrational, destructive act of violence. That's what we thought too, but it seems we were wrong. Maybe the High Ones never leave our planes at all, even after the cleansing. Maybe they are even part of this world, just like the tides or the elements. And the death of the gods is only what really sets them rolling, so to speak. That's what we think, yes. Nothing else in this world possesses that much raw power.
Which is why you will find them for us. Correct. That's right. But we don't need all of them. The beacon has 3 sockets, and that is how many of the stones we will acquire. Archmagister.
I studied the history of the pearls as a young arcanist, and I think that my notes might give you some hints as to where you should start looking. Give me until tomorrow. By then I will have prepared the relevant excerpts. Just come to me whenever you have questions.
And hurry. I take it you have
Yes?
noticed this, but Nerimi's troops are roaming our land and building outposts.
I do? Thought I had gotten rid of it by now. But yes, I'm originally from Nerim. Just like you, as I've heard. Oh, I don't know. Probably because I don't have very fond memories of my time there. You know, if someone would have told you 20 years ago that one day I would be the Archmagister of the Holy Order, you'd have probably laughed in his face. It's absurd just to think of it. You know, I was a slave there. Yes, you see, I was born into a traveling group of Aeterna minstrels. I never got to know my father, though, and living that way was hard. So my mother eventually decided to burn all bridges behind us and start over. Sorry, I'm babbling. I don't want to bother you with my boring stories. Well, after some days on the road, we met a traveling merchant who gave us a ride to the next village, a small one named Sildren in the Salathan forest. It seemed almost perfect at the beginning. The place was quiet, and my mother found herself a job as a weaver in the local count's castle. One day, however, the count simply stopped paying her, and, well, when she asked for the reason, he told her that we were his property from that moment on, just like that. Why wouldn't it be? We were just a woman and a young son, and he owned both the land and the local guard. We had to serve this Creole, that was the Count's name, for 9 years. It was horrible. Pure luck, I suppose. One day, an Enderalayan merchant and his escort passed through the village. They were on their way to Wave Rock to catch a ship from there. And just by coincidence, he saw me crushing some herbs I had found in the forest. That's what I did in the little spare time I had, you know. The Salathan forest is so incredibly rich with plants you have no idea. What I didn't know was that I had found an entire sheaf of God's tongue. That impressed the merchant so much that he simply bought me. He left her there. Believe me, what he did had nothing to do with mercy. He just saw that there was money to be made off of me. I cried and protested, of course, but 2 months later our ship arrived in Ark, where he got infected with flesh maggots and died shortly thereafter. Luckily enough, he was a sublime. And since his relatives didn't know what to do with me once he was dead, they simply asked the Order to grant me the novitiate, which they did. By the left path sounds crazy when I tell it like that, and it probably is. But back then it just happened. I tried, but as you can imagine, my obligations made my options to do so very limited. Only recently, however, word reached me from a mercenary whom I sent over. According to him, Creo is dead, and his castle was deserted. But who knows if he just said that to appease me. I think when all of this is over, I might ask the Grandmaster for permission to travel there myself. And then, who knows? By the righteous path, now I really am babbling. I'm sure a woman like you has better things to do than listen to the stories of a boring chronicler. I should probably get back to business. Forgive me. Well, finding out about the Blackstones was definitely a great step forwards, but still, we're left with a myriad of questions. Sometimes I feel pathetic, to be honest. Like a child asked to understand the functioning of a Starling airship.
Now go, Prophet. The sooner we find these stones, the better.
A machine that can banish these high ones. The mysteries of this world are endless, aren't they?
Yes, it just might work.
Yes?
That is a reason, but not the one I had hoped for. What? What about the rest? Did you find any samples? If there is any chance I can free the Hazels from the shame my grandfather caused, I have to take it. I can cure the plague. I just know it. Only if they were being handled by a fool, which I am not. Please, I can imagine how this sounds to you, but I know what I am doing. If you don't give me the samples, there's no way I can atone. But, all right, I see you have to play hero. Fine, here's your pay. They will not say Balhazel did not live up to his word. Now go, leave me be.
More of them!
Now look at that. You are the prophetess, aren't you? The prodigy. Delighted to make your acquaintance. Finn and Carbos, of course. Who doesn't know? An odd duo and completely inseparable. Why do you ask? What? How? How do you know that? I'm Malthus, that's... One tragic event after another. Now listen. This question might seem peculiar, but is there any chance you found amulets on them? Yes, that's them. Thank you. We owe it to them. Here, you've earned this. I'll send a pigeon with the news to the League as soon as possible. With all due respect to your thirst for knowledge, I am not a magister, and I've got my hands full. In a nutshell, we are healers, and our path is to cure ailments with magic and alchemy. Our monastery is far to the north, in the Frostcliff Mountains. However, you won't be able to reach it at the moment due to the heavy snowfall. And in case that doesn't sate your appetite, there are a couple of books about us in the library, or maybe even the Chronicum. Aside from the obvious, not much, unfortunately. The most important thing to know is that it's extremely hard to determine if someone is infected with it. Afflicted people show their open madness quite late, and at that point, it's usually too late already. If we only knew how this Pyrean sigil stone works. Anyway, let's not talk about it. It's disheartening, really. Yes? What would that be? This is strong stuff. It was wise of you to give those samples to us. No matter how noble his intentions, who knows what this old man would have done with them? A mushroom plague in Ark? That would. Well, I don't need to name it. Here, take this as a token of our appreciation. It's the least I can do for you. Might. But as I said, they might also be the key to another plague. I guess the first thing we'll do is find a safe place for it, a container. Then we'll see, but I suppose it would be safest to simply burn it. No, thank you. Walk blessed, and may your path always be even.
Malfest's blessings.
Fades away at the end of the day.
Greetings.
Madame. Let's hope he knows what he's doing. This just doesn't make sense.
The fate.
What? Yes? Ah, yes. Here. There they are. I've marked the most relevant parts so you don't have to read the entire book. Just see if they tell you anything that could give you a clue as to where you should start searching. I will be waiting at the beacon.
Remind me not to burst into tears.
Brother, Howard. Thanks.
Ah, greetings. Okay, I suppose. This machine really is a science in itself.
How's that?
Well, along the metal, it seems to be some kind of conjunction.
Yes?
Gathered the best blacksmiths in the country. Prophetess.
Enderal.